think everybody has a person in their life that really takes on everybody else's burdens. They want to make sure everyone else is taken care of. They want to make sure everything's in line, everything's, accounted for. Everyone is where they need to be, and they're happy, and everything's smooth. And eventually, when you take on that much of a burden, not that it's necessarily a burden, if you will, but when you take on that much responsibility, you're going to hit a wall eventually, because the person that you're ignoring is yourself. A lot of times, because you're trying to fix everyone else when the person you really need to kind of be looking at is you. And this was about a person that was always there for me when I fell, and they never judged me. They were always there for me, and they always picked me back up and dusted me off and was like, go back out there. You'll be all right. And they eventually hit their own wall, and I needed to be there for them. And it's really a song about not feeling ashamed to ask for help. You should be able to rely on your friends and your family and the people around you. You shouldn't feel ashamed to, if you need some guidance or you need some help, you shouldn't feel ashamed.
I also asked him about the song Shed Some Light.
It was really a song written about my father. It's his favorite song. And it was an older song when I wrote it when I was around like 17 years old. And he always loved it, and he didn't think that it would ever get a chance to get put on a record. And I reworked it with Tony, and they allowed us to put it on they let us put it on the record. So it's really about him. My dad lost his father when I was 2 months old in a plane crash, and he was like his everything. His dad was just his mentor, his best friend, his father, and when he lost him, he kind of changed. I think that when I wrote the song, growing up with my dad, he's probably one of the most, if not the strongest man I know, especially to have put up with me. But that was the line that came to me, about him. It was like, shed some light on me and hold me up in disbelief, and shed some light on me and tell me something I'll believe. I think there was a moment in his life where he was so desperate because he was just angry that, his father had been taken away from him, and it was just kind of like, I think that's kind of how he felt sometimes. He was just like, shed some light on me, and hold me up in disbelief, because like, I don't want to believe this, but it's true, but tell me something that I'll believe is, I think it's just a moment, in his life where hopefully, and I think he's found it, now, in his life, a peace of mind for, the loss of his dad, because, broken hearts don't usually get mended. So, I think it was kind of bittersweet, in a lot of ways, but I think he's found, a comfort, in his life, and a place, where he's at now, in his own life, and what he's been through, and how he's had to deal with, those emotions, and I think he's comfortable with it now.
Here's more Rock on Purpose entitled Someday.
It's really a song about a lot of different kinds of relationships, and not just like, a love affair or, being in love with someone. It's a friendship song too. It's like, it's kind of a rite of passage in a lot of ways. It's a song about saying, you know what, we had our time, and it was great, and I don't think anything bad of you. I don't, wish anything bad upon you, but I've got to go on with my life, and you got to go on with your life, and we had this moment in time together, and it was wonderful, and, whether it was a friendship or a love affair or anything, but it's the moment that you say, I got to go, I've got to go. But if you read the bridge of the song, it's like, I'm not sure that you hear me, I'm not sure that you feel the same. I'll always be attached to you, but I'm never going to feel the same. So it's like, you'll always have him in your life, but it's not going to be the same.
And he has this great tattoo on his hand, so I asked him about it.
I put it on there because that's kind of the way that I've always lived. I think, when people see it, they're like, what do you mean your pain is a gift? I mean, everything that you go through, the painful things that you had to deal with in life, don't, let it bring you down. Don't let it break you. Use it as fuel, It is a gift. It makes you stronger. It'll guide you. And that's why I put it on my hand to remind me every day, you know, to just stay focused, you know, on what I got to do.
And taking a look at the entire project entitled Us and Them, here's Brent Smith.
A lot of this record, I mean, honestly, we did 2 years on Leave a Whisper, and then we got off the bus. The label was like, take 2 months off. We know you guys are just exhausted, whatever. That 2 months for me lasted about 2 weeks, and I had to get back and do it. The thing a lot of people don't realize about this band is built everything off touring and off our fans and off radio, and that's really, this record was written about the people that would not let this band fall and would not let this band like get pushed to the side. It was really a record about our fans and about the people that inspired us on the road, because when you tour for 2 years on a record, when you're given that opportunity and you're given really that honor, you meet a lot of people that have a lot of different stories and have a lot of, you know, they got a lot of stuff to talk about. And I think we took every aspect of that with this record. I think there's very much a youth element to the record. I think back when I was writing a lot of these lyrics, I met a lot of kids, and when I say kids, I mean like anywhere from like, you know, 12 years old to, you know, 18 years old. Don't get me wrong, you know, I met a lot of 20-year-olds, a lot of 50-year-olds, a lot of 30-year-olds, 40-year, whatever. Hell, I've met 70-year-olds. You know, I mean, this was really a record that was based in, you know, it was based upon what really the youth, and I'm not talking about the youth of America, I'm just talking about the youth of the world, you know, goes through on a, you know, on a daily basis. You know, how they grow up, how they, you know, the people in their life, you know, the relationships that they're going through, you know, that they're beginning to start, you know, having emotions about, and the people that are around them. And I mean, everyone that we met, it was just, you know, it was inspiring, and I mean, we took a lot of that.
Sometimes you just gotta write Your Majesty. Here's Brent.
It's just a song about, you know, straight up, just people in general that, you know, are just really not good to people. You know, I mean, really, it's just, you know, I think it's kind of a relationship song, because, and I'm not talking about, you know, the guy versus the girl versus the guy. It can be either way, or the guy versus the guy, or the girl versus the girl. I don't care. It doesn't matter if you're in that relationship or whatever. It's, you know, the song itself is, you know, just about not, you know, taking anything from someone, you know, as far as like really understanding that, you know, you're going to come across people in life, and sometimes relationships are really, really bad. It's where both the people, you know, there's one person that's really using the other person way too much, you know, and it's kind of like, you know, where the last line is like, you know, I'm sorry you're on your knees, but you can't blame me, Your Majesty. It's basically, you know, you're going to leave the situation, and the person realizes that, you know, they really, really messed up and really, really treated you bad, and they're kind of like groveling for you to stay, you know, but, you know, you're kind of over it.
Yeah, how about that tattoo on his hand? I love that. Again, thanks for downloading this Shinedown interview with their leader, Brent Smith. Know this.